Most of you walk through life believing you are the captains of your own souls. You think your choices are yours, born from logic and tempered by character. You are wrong. You are nothing more than biological machines reacting to the linguistic architecture built around you by those who actually know how the game is played. Language was never meant for communication. That is a fairy tale for the masses. In the real world, language is for construction. You are not just talking. You are building a prison or a throne for someone else's mind. Today, we are not learning how to speak. We are learning how to rewire the human operating system using nothing but breath and vibration. Welcome to Level Up 365. Let us start pulling the strings. 1. Loss aversion, the evolutionary panic. The human brain is defective. It is biologically wired to fear losing $1 more than it enjoys gaining $2. This is loss aversion. Evolution did not care about your happiness, it cared about your survival. To your ancestors, losing a meal meant death, while finding extra food was just a bonus. If you want to move a man, do not show him a pot of gold. Show him the fire that is about to burn his house down. Most amateurs say, if you do this, you will be successful. Nobody cares. Success is abstract. Failure is visceral. Instead, tell them, if you do not act now, you are bleeding equity every single hour. You are losing the status you worked a decade to build. When you emphasize the loss, you trigger the amygdala. You bypass their logic and hit their survival instinct. People do not run toward goals, they run away from pain. Become the person who defines their pain, and they will follow you just to find the exit. 2. Zeigarnik effect. Obsession by omission. Why do you stay up until 3 a.m. binge-watching a mediocre show? Because of the Zeigarnik effect. The human brain is an obsessive-compulsive machine that cannot tolerate an open loop. It demands closure. It craves the end of the circle. If you are explaining a key point or making a pitch, stop right in the middle of a sentence. Create a cliffhanger. Leave a gap. When you create a mental tension and refuse to resolve it, the other person's brain will stay switched on and focused entirely on you. They cannot stop thinking about what you haven't said. Silence is a vacuum. If you know how to use it, the other person will destroy their own bargaining position just to fill the silence you created. They will offer concessions, secrets, and compliance just to hear the end of your sentence. 3. Presupposition, the illusion of the horizon. If you want someone to make a specific choice, never ask for their permission. Assume the result. This is presupposition. Do not ask, do you want to sign the contract? That gives them a no option. Instead, ask, would you prefer to use the blue ink or the black ink for the signature? Notice what happened. You did not ask if they would sign. You asked how they would sign. By narrowing the horizon to 2 choices, both of which lead to your desired outcome, you grant them the illusion of autonomy. They feel powerful because they made a choice, but they're walking down a hallway you built. They're choosing the color of the curtains in the prison you designed for them. 4. Priming, the subtle anchor. Before the train arrives, you must lay the tracks. This is priming. It's the art of injecting a concept into the subconscious before the conscious mind even notices. It's the psychological equivalent of warming up the engine before you drive. If you need someone to be brave, don't tell them to be brave. Talk about courage in a separate story 5 minutes earlier. Use tactile feedback, such as a subtle, firm touch on the shoulder, combined with a positive anchor. I've always noticed your decisiveness. You are creating a mental anchor. You are conditioning them to associate your presence with their highest self. When the time comes for them to act, they are not doing it for you. They're doing it to maintain the identity you just handed them. They become your puppet because they want to stay consistent with the hero you told them they were. 5. Absolute affirmation and the Socratic trap. To change a man, you must first confirm the man he thinks he is. If you attack someone's ego, they will lock the door and burn the bridge. Resistance is the death of influence. Instead, use absolute affirmation. confirm their value unconditionally. You have clearly put a lot of thought into this, or I respect your commitment to quality. Once their ego is fat, happy, and unguarded, you move in with the Socratic method. Do not argue, ask questions that lead to your conclusion. If we follow your plan, how do we handle the inevitable risk of X? Let them find the flaw. Let them discover your solution. When a man thinks an idea is his own, he will die to defend it. When he knows it's yours, he will look for reasons to reject it. Ownership is the ultimate manipulation. 6. The Copier, the power of because. The human brain is lazy. It looks for shortcuts, not logic. Social psychologist Ellen Langer proved that by adding the word because to a request. Compliance jumps by over 30%, even if the reason is complete nonsense. I need to skip the line because I have to get to the other side. It's a circular logic, but the brain hears the structure of a reason and shuts off its critical filter. It accepts the command because it sounds like it has a justification. In your negotiations, never leave a command naked. Always dress it in a because. People don't listen to the logic of the reason, they listen to the existence of the reason. Give them the excuse they need to stop thinking and start obeying. 7. Storytelling, the ultimate Trojan horse. Logic is a frontal lobe function. It's cold, skeptical, and slow. Stories, however, live in the limbic system, which is the seat of emotion and memory. When you start a story, the listener's brainwaves begin to sync with yours in a phenomenon called neural coupling. You are no longer two people arguing. You are one mind experiencing a single reality. You have bypassed the guards and entered the city. Stop preaching facts. Facts are items to be debated. Stories are environments to be inhabited. If you can control the narrative, you control the emotional state. The person who controls the emotion always wins the argument. A well-told story doesn't tell people what to think. It tells them how to feel, and their thoughts will follow the feeling like sheep. 8. Emotional labeling, naming the demon. When an opponent gets emotional, most people try to calm them down. That's a mistake. Calm down is an insult to someone in pain. It's an invitation to scream louder. Instead, label the emotion. Use a calm, downward inflecting tone. It seems like you feel this proposal is unfair, or it looks like you are worried about the risk. By naming the emotion, you force their brain to switch from the emotional center to the rational center to verify your statement. You effectively unplug the fire. Once the demon is named, it loses its power. You have moved the fight to your territory, the realm of the rational, where you have the advantage. 9. The peak end rule, the lasting stain. Human memory is a liar. We don't remember the duration of an experience. We only remember the peak, which is the most intense part, and the end. You can have a perfect 30-minute meeting, but if the last 30 seconds are awkward or weak, the entire meeting is branded as a failure in the other person's mind. They don't remember the 29 minutes of genius. They remember the 1 minute of insecurity. Dominate the exit. Always end with absolute clarity, high-status body language, and a gesture of profound respect. This could be a sharp nod, a firm handshake, or a lingering moment of eye contact. You are not just leaving a room. You are leaving a ghost of yourself in their mind. Make sure that ghost looks like a king. Every interaction you have today is a laboratory. You are currently being framed, primed, and manipulated by everyone from the barista to your boss. Most people live their lives as reactive entities, bounced around by the words of others like pinballs. You can choose to remain a piece on the board, moved by the breath of others. Or you can become the player who understands the architecture of the game. The strings are there. They have always been there. Now you can finally see them. Level Up 365 is not here to motivate you. It's here to expose the patterns shaping your thinking so you can finally see clearly. Level up daily.